Hi, this is Anthony Parent of Parent IRS Medic. I'm going to be honest with you. 2022 was a hard year for us. I hope you were one of our clients who got top service, but not everyone did. And I want to explain exactly what happened and why, the good, the bad, and the ugly, explain the awesome changes we put in place so that every year for us and our clients is fantastic and fun. In 2006, I started IRS Medic with my dad. Our objective was simple, to fix people with tax problems and then work with them to make sure they never had a problem again. Our business was doing well, but then I discovered YouTube. With no training or experience, I started posting videos. And then the strangest thing happened. People started watching. Our business exploded. 2008, there were just 3 of us, my dad, me, and our first employee, Tarn Vernucci. And in a few years, we would balloon to a 25-employee firm. Most of this growth was attributable to one thing, IRS Medic on YouTube. Not that the channel is all that big, but for tax, I have close to 2 million views, and that makes it a relative monster. My dad and I, we had the perfect partnership. I handled the business development and I was having fun, and he ensured all the work was done completely and timely. We had so many great results. However, in July of 2011, my dad wasn't feeling well. He would fall asleep in conversation with me. After weeks of wondering what was wrong, he was hospitalized. And it turns out he had Lyme disease for the second time, and it was particularly devastating. My dad was 71 at the time, but a real young 71, and he planned on working until he was dead, he told me. So while he was out of commission, I hired people to replace him, but I was looking forward to the day he would come back. My business grew and grew, but my dad never came back. The Lyme disease took years to recover from. While I had great attorneys and staff working for me, I was still missing that incredible tax manager that my dad was. I invested heavily into management and into tech to get our firm working quicker, better, faster. However, the person I trusted was giving me warning signs, but I was told I must be patient to trust the plan. By this time, I was suffering from a severe burnout, the typical personal issues that affect hard-charging, ambitious young men like myself. I was told by management to take a sabbatical, which is actually what I needed, but not what my business needed. Despite my trust in this management team, everything got worse. And then COVID struck. Our laggy tech became unworkable, and I was told it was all fine. The turnaround would come any moment. But the turnaround never happened. In April of this year, came back to a firm, and my heart was broken to see what happened to it. We simply weren't serving clients properly. And so many of the greatest clients in the world left us, and I can't say that I blame them all that much. Additionally, I learned a competitor in Texas started an online harassment campaign in an effort to destroy our firm. He paid someone to post negative reviews of IRS Medic, and they were awful, claiming we were scam artists and advising people to break the law. Exactly the kind of thing you don't want people to see. Google was fairly unhelpful in removing these. Yet, because of our delays in responding to clients, there is at least one negative review we did earn. Fortunately, the good news here is Tarn Vernucci was kept in charge of client billing and relations. Without him, I wouldn't have much of a business to return to, and along with Arlene Martin. Her competency and dedication and concern has kept us going. But their jobs have not been that much fun, I got to tell you. And I hope I can change that. They had to deal with way too many disappointed clients. Our work was always great, but the delays and difficult communications and technology were infuriating and undermined our mission to eliminate IRS-induced anxiety. Now, some of you may know that attorney Robert Hansen left our firm in July of this year. But before then, in February, he called me with great news. We finally found that tax manager we've been looking for. His name was Mike Mellott, a CPA, and he's 100% a perfect fit for us. But then Robert called me back a week later. The offer fell through. So we continued on the best we could, still looking for that tax manager that could really help us bring this firm to what it needs to be. Now, in June of this year, I restarted the IRS Medic channel on YouTube with my old friends John Richardson and Keith Redmond. And I got to tell you, I've been having a blast, and I've been learning a lot since then. Yet one day, and probably cause of that, I found myself mad, kind of angry at our brutal tax regime, and I was looking at the IRS logo. And I thought to myself, well, that's funny. I never saw that before. But why do I see an upside-down cross in its logo? It's right there in the middle. The eagle is holding an upside-down cross, which is fairly understood to be a satanic symbol. I wanted to have a little fun with this, so I created a short video on the satanic symbolism of the IRS logo. I laughed, and I thought it came out good, so I published it. Now, it's kind of a joke, but kind of not. It entertained me a bit, so as a gamble, I kept it up. Now, a few weeks later, Tarn calls me. Tarn says, hey, you know that guy, Mike? We couldn't come to terms with him earlier in the year. Yeah, well, he just reached out to me. I think we can get him aboard. You really should call him. So I did. And I found out the reason Mike was interested in our firm again was because of the satanic symbolism of the IRS video I posted. While I was joking partially, he knew on one level I was serious. And he said, I want to work for a firm I can believe in. No other tax firm owner in the world would ever publish a video like that. I have to work for you. So in a year of a few letdowns, I finally found a man qualified to replace the functions of my dear father. And Mike has been absolutely critical in cleaning up difficult returns and getting things done and out the door. He is exactly as good as I hoped him to be. The other big plus is many of you are familiar with attorneys Bob Lyon and Sean O'Connor. In August of 2020, COVID forced me to lay off Bob, and Sean went with him, and I feared this would happen, but the two worked so well together as a team. Many of our great clients we weren't able to serve, Bob and Sean were able to. We've been helping each other out for years, and so we decided to formalize a partnership agreement with O'Connor and Lyon. So fortunately, we are back to full strength in our tax and legal capabilities. I don't know if you know them very well, but Sean is not only an unbelievable hustler, but he's one of the most ethical human beings I know. And Bob Lyon, this is what I would say about him. He hates to be wrong, and he's one of the best legal writers I have ever encountered. You know, when everyone enjoys attorneys you can actually trust. Now, along with our rock-solid staff, another huge bright spot for us is this. For years, I would have clients reach out to me to say, hey, Anthony, I need to do something about my taxes. They're too high. And, you know, this was something I was looking for years, and we were trying to get into tax planning, but the software packages really weren't there, and tax planning was still something out of reach for most people. There was just no way to deliver the value, so it wasn't something we looked into. Well, through a series of events, I found an incredible tax planning software platform. It's created by a company called Corvy, and I've been using it myself. In fact, the first person I tried out our new software on was my dad. We whittled down his already low $14,000 tax bill to zero, and the state of Connecticut as well. I got to tell you something. He seems to enjoy the savings, and last week he invited 13 of us grandkids and kids out for hibachi. My dad pulled out his credit card with a smile, and he says, haha, I get points too. Mike and I have gotten deep into the software with other clients, and we're really impressed with how it can give you that feeling of control. And right now we're offering a complimentary tax planning session for all our past and current clients. The thing is, this is the best time of the year to get into it. This is our slowest time of the year. So if you'd like to learn all of your options about greatly reducing your tax burden and learning about key asset protection strategies as well, simply email Arlene at amartin@irsmedic.com. She'll schedule a time with you to meet with Mike and I over Zoom or Teams, whatever your preference is, or a phone call. Again, we are offering this consultation and completely at no charge for past and current clients. One final point. If your business was hammered by COVID, in a way that ours has been, there are still relief programs available you might not know, and the big one out right now, and there is a ton of misinformation going around, is the employee retention credit. And here's what I would generally say. If you got PPP loans, you'll probably qualify for some credit, and it could even be up to or even higher than what your PPP loan was. And this requires no forgiveness and no repayment, and you can use the money for anything you wish. Other COVID relief programs can help you too, so please let us know if that's something you'd like us to look into. This is Anthony Parent of IRS Medic, and we look forward to helping you for the future. Thanks again.